A warm welcome back to the Uxbridge FM History Show. And Ken Pearce joins us again for another history talk. This time, Arthur Kingston, who's an inventor.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Arthur was born in London in 1891 to an English father and a Welsh mother. He attended the French school in London and at an early age became interested in electricity, photography, and things technical and mechanical. On leaving school, he went to Paris and worked for a firm making gramophones, records, and film equipment. There, he began inventing a superior type of stylus to be used on gramophones. In 1911, he returned to London and worked for a film equipment company. He designed a printer that rapidly processed film of the Delhi Durbar. That was an event where our king and queen visited India. So he went there and recorded scenes, and he made a camera that photographed the eclipse of the sun as well. Then in 1912, he joined Pathé News, working as a newsreel cameraman. The firm sent him to Liverpool in August 1914 to modernise a derelict film laboratory, and by October, it was completely operational. War had come, of course, and in 1915, Arthur Kingston volunteered for the Army Balloon Division. This actually soon became the Royal Flying Corps. And in the photographic section there, Arthur worked on improvements to cameras that were used in aerial reconnaissance. In 1919, peace came, and he worked as a photographer in central London. And 2 years later, made a film of Sir Ernest Shackleton prior to that gentleman's departure for the Antarctic. Arthur also designed equipment for John Logie Baird, who was working on a new project called television. One day in the Caledonian Market in London, Arthur bought a pile of clear plastic pieces, which he discovered was called perspex. He began working on this and soon shaped a successful camera lens. He was granted a patent for his perspex lenses in 1934. 2 years later, he became director of an optical company in Slough and decided then to move out of London. He bought the Old Mill House at the entry to the Willowbank estate at Denham and hired a nearby building as a private research laboratory. There he also housed his private collection of photographic and cine artifacts. In World War II, he met a WAAF sergeant named Betty Giles, who was working as a plotter in the RAF Uxbridge bunker, and they married in 1945. In 1950, Arthur obtained a patent for making artificial eyes from plastic. He was able to match the colouring of these artificial eyes with the patient's existing one. At the coronation in 1953, Arthur, with his wife Betty as his assistant, was the only cameraman allowed on the roof of Buckingham Palace. In 1974, he was working on a machine to help disabled people to turn the pages of a book by blowing on a switch. Alas, he died suddenly, and that project was not completed. And so ended 65 years of research and invention. Arthur Kingston has been described as the doyen of cinematographers. Arthur's collection of memorabilia has gone to the Media Museum at Bradford. I am grateful to my friend Sid Wilson, who worked for some time as Arthur's assistant, for much of the information in this talk.
Thanks, Ken. We love inventors and their slightly eccentric nature. I quite fancy being an inventor, inventing something one day.
Yes, well, keep on trying.
Okay. Good advice. Yes, thanks, Ken.
Adieu.